Hi. So today I'm just out walking my dog, and I was going to do this video inside, but I decided to do it outside because today we're talking about environment. And environment, okay, so food is so important, obviously, because it's the foundation of the nutrients that we're giving our body to build cells from. And so I often find that there's people who think, between food, exercise, movement, environment, all these different pillars, people think that food is the most important. And I used to believe that food was the most important. I used to constantly believe that food was the most important. But now I'm starting to believe that environment even trumps food. And the reason why is when you think about it, just think about it. So you might eat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day even, right? In a 24-hour time period, and build things out of that nutrition. But your environment is with you 24 hours a day. So it's, the air that you breathe, the environment, the temperature, what you're looking at. So your senses, like touch, feel, taste, all those wonderful senses, just go through them. And you'll start to see, wow, my environment is with me 24 hours a day. So first of all, being outside, being in nature is what we were designed for. It's what we evolved from, and it's what we designed for. So if you took a tree and you put it in the house and you expected it to grow, it wouldn't do very well. But some plants will grow indoors if you water it consistently, put it by the window, give it sunlight, give it the natural, give it good air quality, give it some good nutrients. It will. But trees are designed to live outside, not in little boxes, in houses. Same with animals. They're designed to be outside, not in little boxes. And so are people. They're designed to be outside. We weren't designed to be in buildings and cars and little houses and boxes and all of these things. We actually thrived and we grew and we evolved from being outdoors in nature. So, Molly stepped that. Sorry. So anyway, so that leads me to the fact that we have to think about the things in our environment on a daily basis. So the first one is obviously air quality. Now you can only get the best air quality by being out in the country, by being, surrounded in nature, trees, somewhere where there's no cars going by and fossil fuels and airports and drive-throughs and all these wonderful things. You want to breathe in the most pristine air that you can. And when you're in your house, you're often not breathing in the best air. You're often breathing in recycled air. It's air that's been recycled. It's being recycled. There's often mold and mycotoxins growing in those spaces. So that's the first thing, is air. And that's so important. So, of course, the most important and free thing that you can do is get outside. And I try to ask myself now, how often can I be outside? How long can I be outside? And in a 24-hour period, can I sleep outside? Probably not in the winter. Can I come outside every day for a walk? Yes. Can I do it at sunrise? Can I do it midday? And can I do it at sunset? At least 3 different times, so I'm getting the sunlight and the air quality and everything. When I'm inside, can I open windows? Can I breathe the things that are necessary for life by breathing? So these are the types of questions that I ask myself constantly. So not only is it important for, the air quality, but it's important for the light that we're getting. So as you can see, I'm outside right now. And if you look up, you're seeing the sun. And it's bright, beautiful sunny day. So these types of things are super important. You can't manufacture this kind of light inside unless you're by a window, and even then, some of it's getting filtered out. So that's for starters. You want to get the right light, and you want to block the light that's not supposed to be there. So at night or in the morning, if it's still dark outside, you need to filter out your light. So there's some things that you can do. If you were outside, you wouldn't have to do anything. The sun would come up and you would have the light cycle, and then you'd go to sleep, and then the light cycle would be there. So that's how it would work in nature. But because, I'm just gonna sit down and talk because this is distracting. Okay, so there. Oop, sorry. Okay, so because when you wake up in the morning and the first thing it is dark outside, you could just choose to roll over and go back to sleep, or you could get up. But if you turn on the lights in your house, you're basically saying, F you, biology, I know better than you. And that's not true. You want to stay with what nature's intending. So, like, you wear glasses. I wear the Orange Spectrum blue blocking goggles and glasses and whatever else to block out light. I have salt lamps in my room, so I'm using natural amber lighting, orange lights in some of my rooms, like my bathrooms if I have to turn on a light. I use candles, the battery opera candles that give a nice yellow glow, but I never turn on a light bulb until the sun is actually on. So that's another easy thing you can do. You can just, in fact, you can just turn all the lights off in your house all the time, and that way you would be a step ahead. And when it's dark outside, if you need a candle or a few small, tiny candle lights in your house, just keep them on. In the morning, if you need, a little candle in your bathroom or something like that, that's what you need. And then during the day, you want to be outside in that fresh air and the sunlight. So these are the types of things that I'm talking about when I talk about environment. The second thing is we used to never wear clothing. So yes, I'm outside and I'm wearing clothing because it's cold outside. But when it's sunny, I can just take off my hat and try to expose some of my skin and my face, open my jacket. I can take off things. If I can find a patch out of the wind, I could take off my entire jacket and just sit here and let the sun soak it into my skin. So that's another problem. We were never evolved to be wearing all these clothes. And, it blocks us from the sunlight. It blocks us from the air. It blocks us from everything that nature intends to give us. And we block that off, right? So if we covered a tree in a tarp, would we expect it to grow? That's kind of the same thing. So we don't want to tarp ourselves basically from the elements. So you need some parts of your body need to be exposed. The other thing is we evolved with the earth. So we never had shoes. We were never blocked by shoes. We had our feet on the ground, on different surfaces, on grass, on rocks. We were feeling the earth underneath our feet. We were getting that magnetic source underneath us. We were feeling the temperature in our feet. So if it was cold outside, we were feeling that. We were getting that natural cold thermogenesis right through our feet. If it's hot outside, we're feeling that nice heat on our feet, and we're getting that through our body. We're getting these different textures and sensations. We're getting temperatures. We're not evolved to live in boxes, to have clothes all over us, to have artificial lighting. These types of things are all environment, and they're toxic to us. They're like junk food for our body. So as much as, opening a bag of chips and cookies and, just trans fats and all these terrible rancid oils and junk food and gluten and all the stuff is terrible for our body. It is terrible for our body to ingest recycled air. It's terrible for our body to be shielded from its natural elements through clothes and other things, and to be locked in houses and all of these things, and to be having unnatural lighting that doesn't match our circadian rhythms. So these are the types of environmental concerns that we're up against, because we do live in houses. We do have to wear clothes in society, and we do have bad air. We're shielded. We have lights all through our homes and schools and anywhere we go. So we need to take extra precautions. So number one, the best thing and the most free thing that you could do is to live outside in nature and to spend all your days outside in nature, to go in a tent in a remote part of somewhere and just live, right? Just live with the natural rhythms of nature and the sun. But that's obviously not possible. And unless you're seriously ill and you have the means to go and do that, and somebody who can monitor you and take care of you if you're that ill, it's likely not possible. So you need to do the next best thing, which is get outside as often as possible. Take your clothes off as often as possible, and just try to get sunlight on your body. Anywhere, just little bits. Every little bit helps. Open your windows, get fresh air, turn all the lights in your house off. At night, flip the power switch. During the day, flip the power switch if you can. Just get the power gone. Get all the electricity surges that our bodies aren't used to. Turn everything off. And then the last big thing is screens. Okay, we did not evolve with screens. We did not evolve to look at screens, and screens are damaging our eyes. They're damaging our retinas. They're damaging our brains, and they are completely messing up our natural light cycles. And so we need to be cognizant of these screens. We need to protect our eyes every time we're using a screen with blue blocking glasses. And we also need to minimize our time on them in a serious way. So maybe in 10, 15-minute increments, a few times a day. That's it. And if you're watching TV, a very limited amount of time a day, an hour or less, and with protection, and never right before bed if you can help it. So these are the types of things we need to be doing. I know we live in a modern world, so it's very, very hard, but if we can put environment even above food, you will see a massive, major improvement in your health. So environment is that important. Light is that important. Getting rid of all of the junk light, the junk screens, the artificial air, all of these things. And there's air filters that you can buy for your home. You can open up your windows. You can buy HEPA air filters, or the ones that they use. I forget what they're called. The ones that they use for NASA. Anyway, there's tons of resources out there where you can find these things and get them. But if you put environment first and really listen to the sounds in nature too, that's another thing. All you hear is kind of like silence outside, and birds, and wonderful little creaking sounds, and wonderful, just very soothing, soft sounds. When we're in our house, we have people screaming, and it echoes off the walls, and our children are yelling, and children are yelling. We have all these TVs blaring, and sound machines going, and phones, and TV, and all kinds of just junk sounds too. We have to get rid of the sounds. So these are some wonderful tips for environment, but please don't do what I did and put environment as an afterthought. Please don't think that food is the most important and it's gonna fix everything. Environment, light cycles, and sleep, I would even put at this point above food. So take environment seriously and do whatever you can to create the best environment, the best healing environment, the best natural environment. And so it is that important.